Колеги, ми розпочинаємо робочий день.
We are starting our working day in UCMC. The topic of the first press conference is MPA Honor Scholarship, the launch of the scholarship program for ATO veterans. Our guests are Jaroslawa Johnson, President and Chief Executive of Western NIS Enterprise Fund, also Pavlo Sheremeta, ex-Minister of Economic Development and Trade of Ukraine, Director of the Ukrainian Catholic University School of Management, Andriy Surkhan, Program Coordinator of the Western NIS Enterprise Fund, and Taras Kovalyk, member of Aidar battalion. Good afternoon. Thank you for introduction. Our fund started its investment activity in Ukraine in 1994. We started with funding from U.S. government via USAID. In 2015, we started our educational programs providing technical assistance to Ukraine. Our educational programs support reforms in Ukraine to further stimulate economic transformation in this critical moment of Ukrainian history. I am pleased to introduce our new educational program for veterans of ATO in cooperation with Ukrainian Catholic University. In the fund, we believe that investment, accessibility, and affordability of education could prepare our veterans who want to put their efforts into development of the state of Ukraine. I would like to give the floor to Taras Kovalyk, who will explain why this program is so useful for ATO veterans. Good afternoon.
Вже зараз колишній
I am Taras Kovalyk, the ex-member of Aidar battalion. Last year in September, I entered the program. I will share my impressions as veteran, and then Andriy will talk about more technical things. I will tell what are my impressions, why this was important for me, why I encourage all the veterans who want to change the country from the inside. For me, I had many questions as a veteran because coming back from war, I saw that here, well, we are fighting in the front line, but but inside we don't see the changes that we would like to see. And communicating to my brothers in arms, I understand that they also do not understand what's happening inside the country, why we can counteract the enemy there, but we can do nothing here inside the country. During these 8 or 9 months of studies, I've seen that there are some changes in the country taking place, and I understand how I can get involved into that. There are the trends. People say that there's betrayal, especially colleagues, veterans believe that, but I say, let's be constructive. Those who want to change, you have this platform in the School of Management. You can get knowledge there. You can get good skills, and you can start working, because we lack specialists and experts, and wherever we go, we are invited to work, because they say there are very few people who realistically want to change something in the country by their everyday work. And especially young guys, veterans, those who came back from the front line, they have given a lot to change the state, and I have the proposal. I say, try it, don't be too concerned, study English. We go to Kramatorsk, to Slavyansk with the School of Management. You will see it differently. You will see in Odessa region the School of Reformers. They have the team of reformers. You will be able to constructively see how you can change things in the country. At least these are my impressions. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Andriy Surkhan. I'm the program coordinator in Western ANS Enterprise Fund. I will tell in detail how to apply to the scholarship and what will be the criteria for selection. To apply, the candidate should be the citizen of Ukraine, should be the ATO veteran, demobilized, and interested in public administration. If the candidate wants to continue career in public administration, the candidate should have the bachelor's diploma, know English, so that because the teaching is in English, the candidate should be ready to start studying in September this year. What is the procedure of application? First, you have to apply the package of documents, which should have the motivational essay in English. It should demonstrate the vision of the candidate, how this training could help him realize his goals in the sphere of public administration. He should demonstrate the values, the loyalty to the state, and objectives for the future. Also, he should receive the letter of acceptance from the university. Only after he receives the letter, he can apply for the scholarship. The application is submitted together to our email info@seedgrant.org. The topic of the essay is how can we achieve better future for our children in Ukraine, what we can do now so that our children live better in the future. The program lasts for 18 months. The format of studies is 3 days a month, and the course is 3 trimesters. The scholarship covers studying, accommodation, and logistics. Thank you. Thank you, Andriy. I am Pavlo Sheremeta. I have the honor to head the school. First of all, I would like to thank Taras Kovalyk and his comrades in arms, those who are defending Ukraine now, because they gave us the chance to think about these things in peaceful conditions. I also would like to thank Western ANS Enterprise Fund for caring about public administration in Ukraine. You have several programs, not just this one, and you are taking care of people who are doing the most important thing in the country. Having a certain experience of public administration, I can tell you for successful public administration, the person needs 3 things: the character, the knowledge, and the team. Again, our compatriots who are now executing their duty, we have no questions about their character. Very often by blood they prove what they are. But we have questions about the knowledge and team. That's why we want to help the School of Management, our school, just like other similar schools and universities. We see that public administration in the 21st century, it's instrument and science-intensive sector. To be more efficient, you need to know how to use this instrument, and you should have the skills and the team. And with that is how we were looking at creating and developing the program. The program is just 1 year old. September last year, we enrolled the first students. I would like to thank Jaroslawa, Taras, Andriy, and their colleagues, students, who are with us already in many things. This is not a well-paved road in Ukraine. There are very few programs like that in Ukraine. We hear that other universities are planning to start to launch similar programs in Ukraine. There are few universities that have such programs. We need to have more, many more public administrators who have the European vision, European values, who can use instruments, modern instruments of management and skills. Because to know is one thing, but to implement things and skills is a different thing. Once well, when we have minimum 5 of such students, minimum 5 plus 25 participants, and that will be the next group. And these are the specialists who will be ready to address the challenges that Ukraine has. And I would like again to thank you for your assistance and for your trust and for overcoming this together. Thank you. Allow me to start with the questions. Do I understand that this master's program on public administration is the program of the Ukrainian Catholic University? But that is the program for veterans. Do I understand it correctly? And what will be the difference between these two programs? This program is there. It has the state license. And we thank the Ministry of Education. And that is the post-Maidan difference, because before Maidan, it was practically impossible for Ukrainian Catholic University to get any licenses because of obvious reasons. But this is, we told the state that we want to implement this program. We have the capacity. Our chair of public administration is headed by Jaroslawa Grytsak, a famous person in Ukraine. And the ministry is, we have specialists, and we do not need state financing. The Ukrainian Catholic University is famous because we have not a single penny of state funding. We thank all those who donors, the funds, the students who pay for their education. So this is the regular standard program of MPA, Magister of Public Administration. And we can enroll 25. Probably we will be able to enroll more. People re-evaluate their capacities, and we see that the number of participants is reduced during education. This will not be the separate program for ATO veterans. We will be giving these scholarships to 5 who are ATO veterans. But we are trying to maximum integrate the veterans into peaceful, constructive life where we all together are creating the country. Thank you. Any other questions or clarifications?
Please introduce yourself. Andrei Mihal, consulting company Concor. I have 2 questions. First, to the higher educational institution which will arrange this training, what positions will be available for the graduates, and well, what will you do with the those to whom you will give the preference when enrolling to your course, so whether they're ATO veterans with managerial skills or without managerial skills. I think that the first requirement to the candidate will be the willingness to get this education and good master of English language skills, because without the good command of English language, this won't be possible. We will, and very much will depend on the readiness to master the necessary skills and knowledge. Much will be learned independently by the candidate, by the trainees. We will get skills, necessary skills, which will be ready for application and for example, in the past, I used to work as a cook, despite my basic background as a manager. And now I understand that the biggest problem for veterans is a willingness to integrate to the community, to civil community. And I felt in my own experience how it's difficult to accommodate after the situation of the front line to civil life. So the veterans should finish the psychological rehabilitation, or at least understand that they need this rehabilitation, psychological rehabilitation. I experienced this myself, and for veterans, it's not so easy to see, to understand that people here in civil life, in peaceful life, they do not fight, they do not wage war, they simply teach. As for the positions, Taras mentioned that he used to be a cook, but he was too modest, because actually he was a chief cook, a manager, and he used to work for one of the best catering groups in Ukraine. And what we offer to our trainees, we offer the bachelor diploma. With this diploma, they will go anywhere where this diploma is satisfactory. What positions? I will speak about completed facts. Out of the group to which Taras belongs, we have 3 people who work for the Department of Investments and the Lviv City Administration, and they were appointed to those positions in course of their study in our university, and one of them was awarded the title of the best employee of the first quarter of this year. We are very proud to recognize this fact. And actually, all our models are run in different localities in Ukraine. For example, one of the models were held in Odessa, and one of our trainees drafted the document, the free custom space in Odessa. So these are not just positions which we offer is potential positions for our graduates. These are already positions occupied by our graduates. Actually, all our trainees receive training during only 3 days a month. All the rest, 27 days, they can apply these newly gained skills in their everyday work. Yemets Maria, UCMC. I would like to develop your last statement. So people, your trainees have just 3 days of training per month, and all the rest time they work for the civil servants, or alternatively, they can first get positions in the civil service and then apply for your course. You are right. We accepted to our course some people who first entered the civil service positions and then applied for our course. On the one hand, this shows that the authorities become more confident in the quality of our education and have more trust in our institution. On the other hand, everywhere where we deliver our modules, we meet with representatives of local governments, local authorities. We study the local cases. We ask their permission to share our considerations, our ideas about possible development of their local cases. And when I meet with those people in places, I sometimes offer to the best of them to join our course. Actually, we offer very practical course, which is delivered in big coordination with the authorities and with the businesses. This week, for example, we will have a model in Kyiv, and we will visit one of the powerful internet companies in Kyiv and one of the biggest international banks in Kyiv. And in both cases, we will meet with director generals of those companies. Before visiting the private companies, we will meet with MPs, and we wish to establish this triangle relations, the state authorities, the businesses, and civil society, research communities, etc. And I think that Ms. Jaroslawa will add more about the civil society contribution. My colleagues describe this seed program when our Ukrainian students are able to go to 50 best schools in the U.S. and get education. We also have Ukrainian School of Leadership. We also provide assistance to state companies in upgrading their leading managerial staff. For us, education is extremely important, and we contribute much funds and much effort to it. We like very much the synergies, when synergies appear everywhere. For example, with the NIS Enterprise Fund, they maintain the electronic public procurement system. to this meeting. I arrived immediately after meeting with Anna Vlasova, who will teach in our school next week. It also delivers course in the Kiev School of Economics with the support of the NIS Enterprise Fund. We do not wish to produce theoreticians and dreamers. We wish to allow people to occupy important positions immediately upon their graduation from our course. Thank you very much for your information, and we expect